So let me start off with the Sephora brushes first. So the first brush that I picked up is the Pro Airbrush foundation brush, which is the number 55 brush, which is a very popular brush for Sephora. All Sephora brushes, they are handmade, they're hand assembled. So I mean, a lot of labor and love goes into them in the factories where it's made. They're soft, it's synthetic bristles, so it's fantastic, and it has the brush guard on it, so you never have to worry about. I bought one brush for my kit, but I think I'm gonna keep it for myself, and I'll explain to you why. So this is the number 55. When I worked at Sephora, so many of the cast members would recommend this one to me, but I always gravitated back to the number 56 when I worked on clients because it's just so easy to buff in. It's really nice to use it with powder, but this one you can use with liquid or powder as well, the number 55. So it should be fun to play with the number 55 and see what the rage is all about. Alright, so the next thing I picked up is one of my favorite brushes from Sephora, the Sephora collection of brushes. It is the Pro Airbrush Concealer Brush, and this brush does, let me bring it a little bit closer so you guys can see. This brush does fluff out. Can I find the one that I have? Oh, this is the one that I have and that I currently use. I used it yesterday, I haven't used it today. So you see how it goes from being really tapered to being really fluffy. It doesn't go back to its original shape, which is perfect. It's so nice to buff out that concealer. I prefer using it on myself versus clients. Whenever I used to use it on clients in store, they're not used to having concealer put on them, so they're like flinching back and forth. The reason why I picked this one up is because this would be great to highlight with, to set my highlighter with. So I'm really excited to use that. I originally bought it for my clients, but I don't know, I think it's going to go into my own personal kit. And then I bought this brush for myself, which is the Pro Blending Brush, because I need some more blending brushes for myself. Let me see if I can get it open. I already took off all the plastic wrapping off of it yesterday. So this is a really nice kind of fluffy flat brush that I can really go in there and blend everything out. So this is the number 27 brush. Next up on the things that I purchased was this little kit from Nigel's Beauty Emporium, and I was so happy that I got this deal because what I did before I started purchasing everything, I made my one around. So as soon as I came in, I walked over to each station, saw what brands were there. And I recommend this to anyone, especially if you're someone like me who only buys a one-day ticket because it can get really, really expensive. I bought a ticket for Monday this year, and last year I went on Sunday. So, and I think I'm gonna go in the future on a Monday because it's so less chaotic. I can walk around freely without like really bumping into too many people because it's like neck and neck sometimes with people as you're passing, and people walk into you, you walk into them, you know how it can be. So this is the Airport by Beauty Blender Pouch and Protect, and this was 40 bucks. Now Friends Beauty was selling one beauty blender for 15 bucks, and they had two beauty blenders for $50, and it was in a container like this. So it was two beauty blenders for $50, and that didn't include the brush cleaner. So I was just like, oh my goodness. And then these two other girls were talking about it, and I was like, well, I just came from another store over there, and they have, that vendor has a better deal going on because they have, oh, the reason why there's three in here, I took out the one that I have in my professional kit already, and I put it in this little thing. So they had two beauty blenders with the pouch, a solid brush cleaner for $40, plus when I purchased this, they gave me an additional beauty blender for free. So I'm going to keep this beauty blender for myself. And this solid comes in handy. It's so much better than a liquid. So next up, I tried to do a tutorial on this for you guys, but it totally did not come out good. So I will try and record that again tomorrow. I think I should have gotten the shade medium. And Ashanti did tell me that, you know, I could be either medium or tan. I can work with either or. So I picked the shade tan because I felt like, you know, we're going into the summer months right now. Probably a better idea for me to go with this one. So kind of wish I bought the medium. I bought that one and this one, but hey, we have to make serious decisions when it comes to makeup, right? It has to be one or the other. It can't always be both. So I decided to get this, and it's really cool. I have it on right now, and I put on more bronzer on it because I don't feel like the deeper shade is deep enough. Like, I feel like the shade that's actually supposed to be the deep shade in this will actually be my summer shade. All right, so let's see here. This side is the deeper shaded side. Let's see if you guys can see that. So that's what's supposed to be used for contour. Now let me cover that back up. And then this side is the lighter shade, which is used to highlight, which is really cool as well. And the great thing about this is that if you decided to use her whole line, it would take up not much space in your kit. So it's something to think about. The next thing I purchased, I was about to show you guys the Eve Pearl stuff, but I'll wait to show you guys that. I bought 3 AJ Crimson foundations. These were expensive because I remember last year all of his foundations, and I like the packaging from his kit from the same exact products. I think he changed the ingredients in this from the ones that he had previously, but I like the screw off top versus that the flip off one like this, because I feel like if I'm in a rush this can easily break. But these were $28 each, so I ended up paying $89 for these 3 foundations. When you're using higher end foundations, they're going to be more expensive, but my thing is, and the advice I always give to makeup artists who are starting out is invest in good foundation. Foundation is where you're going to make your money. In my opinion, it's not always about the eyeshadow. When you work in store with a client, it might be the overall look, but sometimes the overall look is going to be the foundation, because the client is going to want to have, I shouldn't say want to have, because each client is different. But for me, I notice versus using drugstore foundation when I first started out and then using higher end foundation, there is a complete difference in the foundation because of the undertones of the foundations, and then the limits that you have in the drugstore with the undertones. I think L'Oreal, their True Match line, I was going to grab a bottle to show you guys the True Match line. If you're starting off and you don't want to put a lot of money into your foundations, start off with a line like L'Oreal, because they do neutral, warm, and cool. And those are the 3 components that you want to touch on, because you can easily customize it to that client. I just feel like if the thing about clients and when you're doing freelancing is clients want you to do their makeup for a reason, and 9 times out of 10 they're going to be taking photos, and you just want to make sure that the foundation that you use is going to photograph beautifully, because if not, that client is going to let you down and they're not going to be pleased. So that's why I try to invest in foundations, because I find with the eyeshadows, you can always find a deal on great eyeshadows from great brands. You can always, whether you're in you could use the pro program, like fill out the application, send it into them, or you can, I don't know, that'll be my main thing. Fill out the application, or you have stores like Sephora who have their sales twice a year, and you also have stores like Ulta who offer like $3.50 off. They have a $3.50 off coupon most of the time, and sometimes they have $10 off, and sometimes they offer 40% off, and that's when I stock up on certain things. Alright, so I purchased these 3 maybe I should show you guys what the foundations look like. That might be a good start. So this foundation looks like it was already melting down, which is really interesting. And I can already tell you that I'm disappointed that it's melting down. But this is the number 3. And you can see how it's sweating already. And one of those selling points that the person who was selling to me was, they said it's a sweat proof and it's water resistant. And so because now it's sweating, I'm going to spray some of, I don't want to really spray this, but I'm going to test it out to see if it's water resistant. Now I'm going to take a little, look, There's foundation on it. Okay, so that tells me that this is not water resistant. So this foundation is not water resistant, and I'm not 100% if it's sweat proof. So I'm kind of PO'd at that, because I can already see it sweating here. So I have to be mindful of that. This is the shade number 2. Because the thing about it sweating, as we're approaching summer and me having this in my kit, it can go leaking everywhere, especially because of the packaging. I'm a happy camper after seeing this now. So this is the shade number 8. I was originally going to buy 4 shades, but I decided to go with just buying 3 because one out of the 4 was sold out, and 2, I didn't need all of the shades from the kit that it came, not kit, but they were sold individually, but I didn't need them all together because I already have some of that in my kit already from the Eve Pearl palette. So that's what I did, and I decided not to go Graftopian. If you're a makeup artist, and I would suggest this only for makeup artists, if you're a professional makeup artist, or you're thinking about or are already in the makeup industry and trying to figure your way out, join the group on Facebook. It's called In My Kit. You have to send in a request. So just go on it and hit, I think it's friend request or whatever. I think it's James Burnett. He's a celebrity makeup artist. He runs the group. If you guys ask the same questions over and over again, he will delete your question. But the reason why I didn't buy Graftopian is because I kept seeing this question. People were asking about Graftopian, and then people were chiming in saying how it just didn't, they kept saying the same thing. It did not photograph well. It didn't look great in person, but it looked great in photography. And the problem with that is that if a client is not satisfied in person, best believe they're gonna make you drop everything you're doing and fix whatever it is they want you to fix. And I mean, they have every right. They're paying